Manchester United back at Old Trafford. International break is finally over, and a real difficult game in prospect for Manchester United this coming Saturday at home to Leicester City. So it's a very difficult game for Manchester United. Leicester are doing very, very well at the start of this season and are a real contender to get into the Champions League places this year. I do believe, with the fact that Manchester United, Chelsea and Arsenal and Spurs have all got inconsistency and problems in them, it does give the likes of Leicester, who are one of the favourites to jump above them teams in the league, a great chance of doing so this year. And Manchester United are horrendous at this moment in time, really, really poor, look a really poor side, and Leicester should be going into this game confident that they can get the 3 points. They really should, with the way Manchester United are performing. I just don't know where the next win's coming from for Manchester United, to be honest, at this moment in time. And we've got a number of injury concerns to worry about, and if some of these players are out injured, I really think that this game could be a write-off for Manchester United. I really do. If we can't get some of the players back fit that have been injured for the international break. Now, I don't know what sort of back four he's going to be able to go for in this game. To be honest, obviously De Gea will be between the sticks, but who's he going to go for at the fullbacks? I'm hopeful that Wan-Bissaka's going to be fit for this game, because he's got to play. He really has. That is a massive asset for Manchester United if Wan-Bissaka plays. He's very, very good defensively, and Manchester United are poor defensively, so we've got to have him there. Obviously, Ashley Young will have to be in the left-back position as well, because I don't know. I mean, we've got Luke Shaw injured and we've got Dalot injured. I mean, if not, we will have to play. He will probably play Rojo as the left back and Ashley Young as the right back. If this is the case and Wan-Bissaka is out injured, that's what I would presume. Anyway, unless he does change it up and plays three at the back, I don't know. But the Manchester United options are so limited that I don't know what. Oh, well, the squad is just so shit, to be honest, and the lack of depth is just abysmal. It really is. The two centre halves are going to have to pick themselves, but Lindelof needs to pick up his game, because Manchester United are going to be in for a horrendous season if he doesn't. Not 100% convinced with Maguire either, but definitely the best centre back we've got, so it'd be them two at centre back. You would expect the strongest lineup that Manchester United could possibly put out for this game, because in the week we've got the Europa League, and that may give him a chance to put some fringe players in and around the squad, whether that's in the starting lineup or on the substitutes bench for that game against Astana later on the Thursday. So, and then we've got the League Cup the following Wednesday, I think it is, against Rochdale. So there's a lot of games coming thick and fast. So that's when he's probably going to utilise players that haven't got a number of minutes. The likes of Fred, Matic, Gomez, Garner. Probably some of them will either start them games or be on the substitutes bench. So I wouldn't expect a number of them to start this game, hoping that most of our players are fit and ready to go for this game. Now, the midfield is just such a problem for Manchester United. I don't know what Manchester United are going to do if Paul Pogba isn't fit in that midfield, because he seems to have gone with McTominay and Pogba in there at the moment. I would like to see Gomez get a chance in there as well, but that is just not going to happen. I don't know what other options he's going to go for. I mean, I would like to see maybe Gomez sort of at the tip of the three, and then on one side it will probably be James, Rashford, and then Martial up front. That's if Martial's fit. I'm relying on these players being fit. I mean, the other player that's a doubt as well is Jesse Lingard, but I mean that is the least of our problems, because Jesse Lingard's stats of late have been absolutely horrendous. He hasn't scored or assisted for absolutely donkey's months. So, I mean, I'm hoping them few players that are injury doubts in this team are fit, because if Martial's not fit again, he's probably going to shoehorn someone else into the starting lineup, like Mata or something, or even probably bring Matic back into the midfield and change it up and put Mata on one of the wings, and not utilise the likes of Chong or Greenwood or Gomez, who probably do deserve to be given a chance, which is disappointing. I'm hoping they get their chance against Astana and Rochdale in the coming weeks, because they cannot perform any worse than some of these players that are performing. I mean, Jesse Lingard isn't performing at nowhere near a high level, and obviously Solskjaer's substitutions in that last game were baffling. So we've got to get some of these players performing better for Manchester United. Some of these youngsters coming in as well. I think that if they do come into the Manchester United team and do produce at any high standard, they're going to probably keep their place, because some of these players are just not performing nowhere near at the level that Manchester United's players should be. I mean, we've still got obviously the likes of as I said, Chong, Greenwood, Pereira could also come in if we've got any problems with Martial as well. But I'm still not convinced that he's the man that's going to take Manchester United forward this season. I'm really not. Who's been given a new contract, so it is worrying times ahead for Manchester United. And this is by no means an easy game. We've had easier games than this season on paper, and we've thrown points away. So let's see how it goes. But if these injuries in the team don't actually get solved this coming week, if we can't get these players back fit, then I think this is going to be a very difficult game. They've got players in their team that are definitely going to hurt Manchester United. Jamie Vardy being the number one, he scored so many goals in these games against the Big Six in the Premier League, and you wouldn't back against him scoring again in this game. Tielemans is another decent player there. Maddison, another decent player there. Players that could improve Manchester United's team in their midfield, definitely. Even though we've stolen Harry Maguire off them, I still think that they're a very decent side. Brendan Rodgers has got them playing well, and they're going to be a threat in this game. And to be honest, I can't see Manchester United getting a result in this one if them injuries do not injured players do not recover in time for this game. Now, if they don't, then I think I'm going to go for Leicester City winning this game 2-1. If the players do return from injury, I'm going to say that Manchester United draw this game 1-1. We will just have to wait and see what happens in Ollie's press conference, because if these players don't come back, there's a very good chance we could see the likes of Matic in midfield. I mean, we still haven't seen any of Fred this season, which is baffling, because he's still at the club, cost a hell of a lot of money, has still got a lot to prove at Manchester United. But could he prove it when he's been mostly dog shit for Manchester United so far in his Manchester United career? Had the odd one or two good games, but it's only his second season in England, and still got bags of potential, and if given the chance can not do any worse than some of these players that are playing in there at this moment in time. So we will just have to wait and see on the injury front, but hopefully the injuries aren't too bad, because I would have liked to have seen a full strength from what we've got, a full strength lineup for this game, and then rest a few for that Europa League game probably in the week, just one or two, just to freshen up in the week, just to get us through these games, because I think we've got 5 games in September. With the small squad that Manchester United have in terms of quality in first 11, we can't afford to get too many injuries, or we will be absolutely fucked. That's why we've got to rotate when we get given the opportunity, and when there's time in probably games against lesser opposition where you might get away with it in the Europa League. Certainly if we qualify with ease, to rotate and rest first the likes of Pogba and Marshall and players like that, and Wan-Bissaka. They're the sort of games that you want to be able to in games which have got lesser riding on them. But although that game is the first group game of the Europa League, it is against lesser opposition. So we'll just have to wait and see anyway. But I can't see Manchester United getting the 3 points in this one. We've just not been in good form. The team isn't good enough, I don't think. But we will just have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the game this Saturday. Do you think Manchester United are going to get the 3 points? Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.